What is, strange title, Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
I'll tell you all about it. So Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet is a workplace comedy about the team behind the world's most popular video game, which is called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. And it's about the team that makes this video game. So I play the guy who is actually the money guy, the head of monetization, named Brad. So everyone hates me, but it's a really fun world to play in.
So it's all about exploring the world of video games.
Yeah, so video games are just a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we play this team. It's a fictional game, and we play this team that makes the game. And so it's about the developers and all the behind the scenes that goes into making this really creative enterprise. And
is it a comedy?
It's a comedy, yeah, it's a workplace comedy.
What makes video games, what makes them? Why are people fascinated by them?
So much. I mean, video games have come a long way. When I grew up, I would play Zelda and Tetris and...
Zelda?
Do you remember Zelda?
No.
Oh, it's so good!
I don't know my video games. My kids do. I don't know.
Oh, it's fantastic. But they've come a long way. I mean, you can get dropped into these worlds and be heroic and do all these amazing things. You could even just like chop pineapples for fun for a little bit, search for coins, fall in love, battle. You know, you could do all kinds of things.
What does Raven's Banquet mean?
That's the name of this specific game that we are creating called Mythic Quest, and it's this new update to this game. And so a lot of these games now are launched, and they're not launched just once. They keep getting relaunched, and all these new things are added to the game.
Are you an expert at this?
No.
Have you a vast interest in this?
I do really like video games.
Why?
I played them a lot when I was a kid, and now I'm playing them a lot with my son, so it's kind of fun. We play Clash of Clans. And
what is the attraction?
I think the attraction is that they're limitless. There's these worlds that you can kind of live in and do all kinds of things. I think there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's always like a nice objective. There's like a mission you could jump in, and there's also a social aspect to it. So you can play with friends around the world now, which is pretty amazing. We could jump on at the same time, and I could be playing with my friends in India or Poland or whoever.
Friends that you know or strangers?
Both, but they can become your friends.
I interviewed the YouTube star, Markiplier.
Okay.
I still understand how people get paid to play video games.
Yeah,
Is it a talent?
It is a talent. I mean, it's a skill. I'm not really good at video games. I like to play them, but like some people definitely are like highly skilled. And there's whole leagues. Yeah, there's whole leagues where people watch it. I mean,
so who pays them?
all kinds of people get sponsorships. It's just a huge business, and online people like to follow them. So if you go to a lot of these people's pages, there's whole groups of people that are watching them, just being like, "Oh, wow!" It's fun to watch. People watch other people play video games.
Who invented Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet? Who's credited with that?
So it's co-created. Rob McElhaney, Megan Gans,
Well,
Charlie
they did
Day.
Sunny in Philadelphia,
That's right, yeah. Amazing group of people, awesome writers, great cast. Rob's actually in the show as well. And he plays a character named Ian, who is the creator in the world of the game.
You worked on a great show, Community.
Loved it, yes.
Now, what is that, streaming now?
It's streaming, yeah, so you can find it on Hulu. Yeah.
Let me explain. I know what streaming means. It means you can find it anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you stream? Or is the act of watching streaming?
It is. I think streaming is any of these services, like Apple, that you can watch these shows through the internet, right? And I think it's a different time of television now, where you sometimes don't even necessarily know where shows exist, and also shows have a second, a third life. People are telling me right now they're just finding Community, and I think people are hopefully going to be excited about Mythic Quest and how they find it. It's on Apple TV, like I said.
How does it help you, the actor?
Well, I think it's a cool time because things just exist now, and you don't know when they were made, so everything is alive now. It's not like shows are just buried. Shows can come back, you know, and come back again and again. And all our shows, all our episodes for Mythic Quest will be available at one time. So on February 7th, all the episodes will be available to binge. So you can just watch them all right away, which is kind of fun.
All this is due to technological changes, right?
Yes, yeah.
Where do you think we're going with this? What's the next step?
I think something in our minds.
I was thinking the same thing.
Right?
You don't have to turn on the set.
It's just there.
You program it.
Yeah.
And you get up in the morning and program it.
and then you just go beep boop bleep bloop, and then while someone's talking to you, you're literally just watching your favorite show.
You can't drive.
You can't drive, no. But I mean, you get a self-driving car, then you're just watching whatever you want. But then it's going to eliminate this right here, you know, like.
Yeah, I get it. Well, so what? I'm 86. What is still fun, Danny? What is still fun? Are you an actor who's funny or a funny guy who acts?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I love acting. I love jumping into a character, playing different people. I love watching people. That's still fun for me. I like anything awkward. I like anything strange. I like things that are very specific. That's fun for me. I like watching people fall down and get back up.
Now, you grew up with a Polish mother
Yep.
and a Polish grandmother. You spoke Polish in the house, right?
Naprawdę, tak. Oczywiście.
Your father is Indian.
Yes, that's correct.
From India?
From India, Andhra Pradesh,
right.
Janur.
How many Polish Indian kids that you knew in Chicago?
So far, one.
Yes, it is strange.
It's a very strange combination.
How did it affect your life growing up?
I think that's probably why I'm here right now, talking it out. It was interesting because my earliest memories were being on stage. My mother made me Polish dance, and there was always that quote, like, dance like nobody's watching, but that never made sense because everyone was always watching me. And at the time, I didn't know any better. I just grew up in a very loving, warm house.
Only child?
Brother and a sister. So all of us were kind of going through the same thing, figuring it out. But as soon as we stepped outside, it was very clear that we weren't like other families. When people would be like, "Why are you speaking Polish? But you look like you shouldn't be speaking Polish." So I think that kind of led to me going into comedy, storytelling.
Were you a funny kid?
Yeah. Before I knew why, I think people were always just like, "Oh, you're Pudi. What's going on with you?" And they would constantly be questioning me or asking me where I'm from, and I think as a way of sort of deflecting, you know, but also just being like on stage all the time. I think I learned the value of comedy.
You were the first ever Chris Farley scholarship winner at Marquette University, right?
That's right.
What an honor.
It was amazing. I mean, he was a hero of mine.
I knew him, and poof, what a tragedy.
Yeah, so sad.
What was Marquette like?
It was incredible. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I had to get a degree. My family encouraged college all the time, and so I grew up in Chicago, and I was always very aware of Marquette. I was a huge basketball fan, so Al McGuire and the basketball teams there it was something I was aware of, and when I went there, I really kind of had a chance to act for the first time. I was doing musicals, I was doing comedy, and that's where I had my chance to figure out that that's what I wanted to do.
You did a lot of improv.
Yes.
Why is Chicago, a second city started there?
Yeah.
Why is it famous for improv? What do they do in Chicago? They don't do improv in Milwaukee?
They do improv in Milwaukee. Improv now is everywhere, you know, but I think Chicago, it's just part of the water. It's a funny place. You know, I think people are just smushed together because of the weather and the proximity of the city and everything, and forced to find funny. And I think it's magical there.
What makes a good improv comedian?
Ooh.
It's not the same as stand-up.
No, it's different. I think people who find comfort in being part of ensembles, people who like bouncing ideas off each other and then looking for the best idea, that is always really helpful. There's a whole thing called yes and within the improv community, and it's just like, let's just start with this brick and just keep building and building. And
is it easier when there are four than when there are two?
it depends on who the four are. I think it's easier anytime you've worked with a lot of people together. You get a sense for each other's style, and you can listen to each other.
Ever go back to doing it?
Sometimes, you know. It's one of those things, though, like when I watch people like, there's these great improvisers, TJ and Dave in Chicago, and they're legendary, and they're just so skilled at it, and they're incredible listeners. It's a skill that requires a lot of time and effort.
We recently had Yvette Nicole Brown.
She's the best.
On the show, and she talked how close you are, keeping in touch and community and everything.
Yeah.
You still keep in touch with other co-stars?
We do, yeah. We email, we text each other. We just did our 10-year reunion this past year.
She said she'd be open to returning.
I would too. I've said it here, Larry.
Was Community a big break?
It was. I did some commercials before that. I did a commercial where I sat on my cell phone and I was known as the butt dialer. So that was really fun. But Community was the first time where I was able to be on a show that I loved and to really play a character that I had a chance to just explore all kinds of things every week, and that was just incredible.
You keep in touch with Danny Glover?
With Donald, I do. Yeah,
Oh,
we actually just saw each other. No problem. We just saw each other this last year after our 10-year reunion. So it's been cool to watch him grow.
And you were a dancer too?
Yes.
What warned you? I mean, you did so many things. What didn't you do?
I didn't paint. I'm a really terrible artist. Sometimes my kids will ask me to draw things for them, and my trees don't look like trees. They
Have
look
you
like
done
people.
any work seriously, like drama?
Yes, I've been doing a little bit more of like independent film and some stage work, and I love it. So I'm hoping to do actually more of that this year and in the future. I love being on stage, and I love different characters.
Have you always worked?
I started working in 3rd grade. My first job was a hot dog stand assistant. I've always enjoyed working. I really like the process of
No,
creating.
but as an
Yeah.
adult,
As a-
in
as
a
an
world where people don't get a lot of work,
I wouldn't say so. It took me a while to kind of find jobs. I think one of the things that I did do, though, is I always had a backup job. So even when I moved to Los Angeles, I worked full-time as an actuarial recruiter.
actuarial recruiter, what is that?
So actuaries assess risk for insurance companies. They determine
Yeah,
how much
I know
you pay.
that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what-
And so the company I worked for actually found actuaries for other companies. So government
recruited
agencies.
actuaries?
I did, yes. I would call them every day. I'd go to actuarial conferences.
Doesn't sound funny.
It was funny in very different ways, I really enjoyed it, though. It was a chance for me to sort of access this other part of my brain. I liked it.
Never miss a beat. Subscribe to Larry King now and watch new episodes every day.